Now let us hear from our OMPEG members, those who have personally gone through this journey. As I said, last many years plus next 25 years, what they are going to do. And they will tell us what are their thoughts about art of possible. We'll start with Nakhate. Nakhate. Nakhate, I will just tell you a brief about Nakhate. Nakhate describes himself as a true cocktail of cultures. No other cocktail, just his grandparents migrated from Maharashtra to Madhya Pradesh, which has become later Chhattisgarh. Then Abhi moved to Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh, which has become Telangana now. See again the changes happening so fast. And eventually moved to UK. As a student, worked in Germany, USA and other parts of Asia. His experience of being a global local and a problem and tackling the problems associated with that has benefited immensely and encouraged him to start a company called Zoom Abroad. Abhishek brings an international students experience. He is ex-director of universities and a marketeer himself. He launched Zoom Abroad in 2018. Zoom Abroad is an online platform to host over 130,000 students and works with approximately 200 universities. Today, Zoom Abroad is one of the leading and respected names in the international higher education sector. Zoom Abroad helps students to make unbiased career decisions to study abroad and provide full support in their university journey, finding out scholarships, visa applications, and supports them to establish them in their career abroad. So over to you, Abhi.
That was quite an introduction, isn't it? Like a mouthful. Thank you very much for having me here. I think you have a fair idea of Zoom Abroad, but here we are not talking about business Zoom Abroad. They have changed my name from Abhishek to Abhi. That is also a transformation for some reason, I don't know why. But today we are going to talk about the art of possibilities. And the art of possibilities, something very common is magic. So if I would ask you, how many of you here believe in magic? Can you please raise your hand? Very few optimistic people here, right? So the next 4 minutes is dedicated to the people, those who have not raised their hands, and I need the support from the people, those who have raised their hands. So let me define magic. If 4 to 5 people sitting around the coffee table decided to bring the Maharashtrian community together, and in just 6 years, bring up to this level, that is magic, isn't it? After centuries of suppression, after centuries of plundering, after centuries of stealing, India stands at the 5th economical position and becomes a developed country. Isn't that magic? Yeah? Thank you. A student from a tribal village of Chhattisgarh standing in front of distinguished guests and daring to speak something, that is magic for me, right? And this magic, if you see the underlying factor of this magic is one thing that I have learned in my small 17 years of career is a relentless grit. It's sleepless night. OMPEG's volunteers spending sleepless night to make OMPEG to the stage together. Selfless connection to become and make a community together. India fighting, experimenting, politics, experimentation, many failures, but today what we are here, we see the end result magic. The same repeats for me, for Zoom Abroad. 17 years of experimenting, failure, and different possibilities exploring. Today we stand to entertain, and today we stand to celebrate the final results, what we call it as a magic. So, when we talk about the art of possibilities, let's talk about what I know the best, education sector. In and around us, if you see a youngster, a Generation Z, what we call a TikTok generation, how are they learning? The things that they learn is changing. The textbooks are outdated, the classrooms are outdated, they're learning from Instagram Reels. They're learning from TikTok videos, YouTube shorts. Again, see a trend. The attention span is so short that they are looking into 30 seconds video, and that's how they are learning information. They're learning new languages, they're learning new skills. And if we grown-ups do not identify this now, it would be too late. If you would take away the Instagram or TikTok away from them, is it a right way? Can we not present those short-form videos as a learning tool to them? That's what I predict for next 10 years, 25 years, I do not know. But the next 10 years, I guess the learning pedagogy is changing. The students are learning in different methods. It's not anymore the same old school classroom-based learning. The hybrid universities have come up. Challenger universities have come up. So that we need to adopt to the way the students are learning. And I think, and Google supports my thinking, Google changed the ranking algorithm, the SEO algorithms to favor short-form videos. So in my prediction, in next 10 years, short-form videos would overtake any form of content, and it will apply heavily for learning and in education. So why to stay back? Zoom Abroad and Zilta, we have created a short-form video generation platform that allows companies and universities to produce informative, knowledgeable, short form of videos that could be consumed easily. So imagine, open up your imaginary wings and imagine, what if a student having the entertainment with the funny cat videos also learn how to code, also learn how to talk in a public forum, also learns how to cook from Reshma to cook a curry, reach out to Jay Tehsildar and learn a technological solution, right? So if the students have a fun entertainment combined with education, that would be amazing. And that is the direction the education is challenging to adopt. So with that, I would appreciate if all of you start to think in a direction where we can open up the gateway for our kids, for the young generation, to learn in a different methodology. Do not shut them off if they are trying to learn in a different way. So that is all I can say. Zoom Abroad is looking to help students to study abroad. Zoom Abroad connects students directly with the universities and experienced advisors. If you want to join our mission and help students shape their career, please reach out to me. We are on table number 9, and we would help to bring you in our platform and take your advice to shape up the student's career. Thank you very much for listening, and happy to answer any questions.
Hello. Thanks, Abhi. That was wonderful. I have a quick question for you. What will be the name of your educational institute for Indian students in the UK?
Name of my educational institute? Oh, never thought about it. It is already Zoom Abroad, so I would say it is Zoom Academy, probably. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Abhi. Fantastic. Now we have learned so much about education, learning, students coming here, migrating. Let us turn our attention to the food sector. We know that 2 young entrepreneurs started their modest journey named Sri Krishna Vada Pav in 2010 in a very modest outlet, first outlet. And now they have grown to 7 fast food restaurants in the south of UK. And one more is opening soon. This is a chain of pure vegetarian street food from Maharashtra, expanding rapidly. They take pride in doing business with culture and spirit of Maharashtra. Many of us who have tasted the mouth-watering street food dishes at their outlets, and they must be recommending it to their friends and family. We are waiting one to open in Milton Keynes. Where is Sujay? He is promising me for last 5 years, still not opened. So that is about Sujay. Over to you, Sujay.
Good evening, everyone. Firstly, thank you for the lovely introduction. It's a pleasure to be a part of the 6th anniversary celebrations of OMPEG and to share our story with all of you. So our journey so far. When it comes to SKVP and our journey, Reshma has kindly given us 4 hours for this segment. So sit back, relax, and just take this as a joke. Don't worry, we know time is money, so we'll keep it brief. Sure, sure. Do you all have tissues in your hand? If you don't, please take them in your hands, because my next question is going to make you drool. Imagine yourself drenched in heavy rains of Mumbai, waiting for a bus or a taxi, and smelling the freshly made vadas and bhajiyas. Yeah, do you all know that feeling? Yeah. That is what gave birth to SKVP. That's the feeling. From merely a small rented place with 3 tables accommodating 6 covers to a 12-year-old fast food brand with 8 outlets and 250 covers. That's our journey. And we thank each and every one of you who's been supporting us. Without all of you and all our other patrons, this wouldn't have been possible. Coming to the next segment, which is our industry, our sector, and the outlook for the next 25 years. We don't know what the next 25 years will bring. Maybe Vada Pav on Mars, SKVP on Mars. People taking the Virgin Galactic flight might want to eat Vada Pav in space. We don't know. But jokes apart, what we know is to be around for the next 25 years, we have to change and innovate with time and everyone's needs. Everyone wants to know what the millennials, the Gen Zs, and the Generation Alpha will like to eat, how they would like to eat, and where they would like to eat. In a recent survey, 59% of the orders in the fast food segment were made off premises. That is, takeaways and deliveries. And this number will keep on growing. Brands have already started to gravitate to a digital menu for products that travel well during delivery, and a separate in-store menu for food that is best served hot in the store itself. So this off-premise dining will keep on growing. That is what we believe. When I say innovation, many years ago, McDonald's had to adapt and learn quickly to service their demands, which is when they created an assembly line in the restaurant, and that has helped them a lot. The future is artificial intelligence and personalization. Every business in this sector or any other sector will have to depend on artificial intelligence. A few years ago, who could have thought that you could buy a burger sitting in your car or driving through, get a drink, order from your favorite restaurant, having a picnic in the park, and get it delivered? So the next 25 years, we believe, will only be to enhance that experience while simultaneously dealing with the current challenges of labor, current and future. So restaurants will move to drone deliveries, food assembling and serving robots, hot and cold vending machines, and disposable and biodegradable tableware. That's what we believe. Thank you. Sujay.
Good evening, everyone. So the next 25 years for SKVP, how it looks. So there are hundreds and hundreds of things that we want to do, but to cut it short, so in next 25 years, SKVP will be definitely on a global platform. We want to take it 100% global. So we want to be a global leaders in vegetarian and vegan market. So that's what our biggest aspiration is, and I'm sure we will do this. We not only aspire to be a food brand, but we want to be a lifestyle brand, doing much more than serving delicious vegetarian food, but we want to be a lifestyle brand. We will continue to evolve and incorporate technological advances. We will be early adapters of any new technology coming in. So for example, a smart table where anybody comes in, Reshma comes in, the table knows already what she had before, what she's going to have maybe today as per the AI, or her address, everything, her loyalty, numbers, everything, she just pay, order of the food comes in. So all of that which would come in, we want to be the early adopters of that technology. And last but not the least, what we would like to do is to give something back to the community. So all our knowledge or all our culinary experience or the culinary knowledge, we want to give it to outside for students, for creating, maybe opening up a culinary school where we want to encourage young entrepreneurs, food enthusiasts to come in, learn how much ever they can from the culinary school. We can give as much knowledge as we can, and obviously there are so many other industry leaders. So this is what the whole kind of, in short, 25-year picture looks like for SKVP. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
See, when you take the name of Vada Pav, I forgot my papers here only. So when you would, what name would you use to relaunch Marathwada Vada Pav to replace burger in fast food market in the UK?
Sorry, what name I would use to?
What name you will use
For
Vada
Vada
Pav
Pav?
to replace the burger?
No, it has to be Vada Pav. There is no other option. It has to be Vada Pav.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Sujay and Subodh. Thanks. And now we will move to, naturally, since we have spoiled ourselves with food, we will move to healthcare sector. We have Dr. Vinita Manjure, a general practitioner and founder of OMPEG. Again, Vinita is born in Bombay, and a perfect combination and Marathi and Gujarati culture and values. She is doctor with postgrad degree in Gynec. Now I don't know the second part of that Gynec, I cannot pronounce, so I just omitted that. And she is fellow of Royal College of, again, Gynec. She has special interest in women health, diabetics, and medicine management. She has also worked as GP tutor, trainer, and training program director. Most recently, she has joined hands with like-minded OMPEGians to launch OMPEG, a video teleconsulting platform for providing second opinion and consultations to Indian patients by UK doctors. They also have plans in future to implement the same in Caribbean and some other European countries. So over to you, Vinita.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, Ravi. Reshma, thank you so much. The brief was very good, and I've tried to keep to the brief. I have a sheet of papers in front of me purely because I was given only 4 minutes to talk. If I had all the time in the world, I'd probably not be carrying these pieces of paper, but here I am. Okay. Thank you for that introduction. It is obstetrics, by the way. Yeah? So, ladies and gentlemen, namaskar. I begin with a quote, which is, "Change is the only constant in life, and one's ability to adapt to those changes will determine your success in life." The healthcare sector, as we all know, is in a state of flux on several counts, and the COVID-19 pandemic accelerating this shift. In the next 25 years, we shall see some paradigm changes in healthcare. Some of those uncanny ideas that Arthur C. Clarke presented in the mid-19th century seemed completely like fantasies. However, they are a reality today. Similarly, annual physical checks that we know, you go to your GP, get your blood pressure weighed done, etc., could be replaced by real-time data from sensors placed on your clothes or on your skin. Predictive data mining, which would offer early warnings of disease before it even starts to evolve or take shape in your body. Stem cell medicine will allow organs to be grown on demand without risk of rejection, cutting out the need for organ donors. Nanomedicine is the creation of designer drugs and the use of AI technology to triage patients in busy hospital departments. Translating this, what we envisage would happen in the very immediate future is telemedicine, which is remote patient monitoring. It's already present in some form today. However, we believe that it requires a lot of innovation and improvement as the years flow past. Care navigation, which is the preventative approach to healthcare. Again, it is there at the moment, but it will innovate as we see. Number 3 would be the virtual healthcare delivery systems. and which brings us fairly and squarely to OurMedic. Now, how did the OurMedic idea originate? As British Indians with strong roots back home, we travel very frequently to Baroda, which is our hometown. We find several people reaching out to us to discuss their healthcare needs, concerns, and seeking a second opinion. Perhaps not. It's probably the 10th opinion by the time we reach Baroda, because they have shopped around multiple times, visiting various specialists. So way back in 2016-17, the idea of a digital platform occurred to us. And it was based on these recurrent experiences that we have each time we travel back home. So the question was, what if we were able to offer this service to people who were not privileged enough to have access to people like us? And by this I mean access to doctors vetted by GMC with no ulterior gains in offering an unbiased evidence-based advice to people sat in India. This idea was shared with friends who agreed that there was a lot of merit in such a platform. Initially, we worked on this as a free service, purely to give back to the motherland. Eventually, after due deliberation, we concluded that we needed a very robust business model for this idea to succeed. So that brings me to the journey so far. We are a startup. We are a startup, a virtual EAT platform with a multidisciplinary team of doctors, IT professionals, marketing, and legal experts. Our mission and tagline are very much in sync with some of the initiatives of the current government of India. Our website is done, and the app is soon to launch for a trial. As with any fledgling company, we have faced challenges, as we have encountered not just technical glitches, but also ethical ones. We are currently in key talks with insurers to secure indemnity for our platform. The individual doctors obviously would need to top up their indemnity for themselves, as with any non-NHS work. We've been mindful of complying with GDPR regulations, and currently CQC compliance is work in progress. We are confident that OurMedic, with its current ethos, is very well placed to take up space within the digital healthcare transformation. In the first phase, we plan to roll out the second opinion services to patients in the Indian subcontinent, and we are also in talks with corporate hospitals to set up a three-way collaboration which will empower patients to make informed choices. In the second phase, we aim to roll out the same services to patients in the UK and extend it to include not just doctors and specialists, but also allied healthcare professionals like psychologists, counselors, and physiotherapists. The final stage, of course, is going to be a global presence. Now, how can you all get involved? OurMedic continues to have a two-pronged approach. Remaining true to the initial idea, we continue to promote the charitable arm where a healthcare professional will, of their own volition, offer services free, and equally, we promote the robust business model in which the healthcare professional will offer services for a fee. So if you would like to get involved and are a healthcare professional and like what you have heard, please do touch base and register. The business is HMRC approved for SCIS and EIS investments, so we welcome any interest from the OMPEG community. Please do signpost and recommend us to friends and family back home. There is nothing better than a word of mouth publicity. Any insurance companies, corporate hospitals, pharmaceuticals, telemedicine experts wishing to partner with us, please do touch base. Some of the OurMedic team is present here today on table number 9, and we are very happy to take questions. And on a personal level, where do I see myself in 25 years? Possibly sunning myself on the sandy beaches in Goa. But frivolity aside, माझी गोष्ट ऐकल्याबद्दल सगळ्यांना खूप खूप आभार. Thank you.
1 minute. I have a question for you. Okay. Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me? Yeah. So, in future, as telemedic services become a reality in next 10, 15, 25 years, will there, is there a possibility that telemedic service is available around the world, both for doctors and patients?
Absolutely. Just as I said, our medic, we expect it to have a global presence, so the doctor could be sitting anywhere in the world with the patient anywhere in the world. Why just a consultation? You could have a surgeon sitting in Bedford operating a patient in Tanzania. Who knows? Sky's the limit. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vinita. Now she has already spoken about investment, so this is the best time to look at what we have in store within the OMPEG community. I would like to introduce Kedar Dani, a professional investor. I know many of them they have started searching, where is Kedar? He is a professional investor and a growth advisor. Kedar is a professional investor, growth advisor to technology startups from seed to advanced stage of funding. Kedar's portfolio of companies range from a leading conversational AI technology to niche supply chain solution of the future and a fully automated process analysis platform to a young OMPEGian promoted retail reward platform called Genon. Kedar has over 25 years experience. He started his career as a software programmer. See where he is now. However, he found himself calling into the sales area where he found his interest. He has worked at leading IT and BPO companies like Hexaware, Unisys, Excel Services, Capgemini, Genpact. His last role before becoming a professional investor was at UiPath as a global vice president, where he started to play a pivotal role in a unique growth of UiPath from a small Romanian startup to a company that IPO'd on New York Stock Exchange. Since I got, okay, now it's up to Kedar. Where is Kedar? Yeah.
मला वाटलं रवीच सगळं बोलेल पण basically thank you Jay, Ravi for having me here. Look, I love to spend money, I love to make money. So my story is about my journey from an overseas professional, which I came into this country as from Mumbai, into an overseas entrepreneur, okay? And it started out pretty much as everyone's story did, IT consulting, engineering killer, Mumbai. Started off working as a software programmer, 3 years in Mumbai. Moved to the UK, spent 5 years logging it out as an IT consultant. Finally, I realized that that was not for me. एक line पण code लिहिली नाही. Sales मध्ये, fortunately, I got an opportunity to move into sales. I found my specialization in BPO. Okay, so business services. Worked at EXL, worked at Capgemini. Did some really large deals. I think in the kind of 9 years I spent in BPO, I must have sold about $90 million worth of deals across the world. After that, I got an opportunity headhunted by Genpact, a $5 billion BPO company. 1.5 times extra salary from Capgemini. 6-figure joining bonus. I got bored within 4 weeks. And at the same time, I was approached by a small startup, a very small startup from Romania. 35 people in the company. Future-wise, God knows where it was going to go. So from an art of the possible perspective, I think that was the best thing to think about if you have that imagination. I didn't. But having said that, I was fortunate enough that I had some idea of this company, and I had an idea of what this technology was about. It was something called RPA. Back in 2016, no one knew what RPA was, who UiPath was either. Genpact had given me a significant signing bonus, which I had to sign the check back and give it back to them. I had already spent the money and bought a nice car. But long story short, 2016 November, when I started with UiPath, I ended that journey in December 2020. Okay, in this 4-year time frame, right, I was a global vice president. I built big account teams, but I got the opportunity to be part of a journey of a company from a valuation of 5 million to 35 billion in 4 years. Okay, we went through funding rounds from Series A to Series F. Series F happened after I left, and it was just before IPO. But I was involved in that entire process. Okay, being part of the management team, I got to experience the thrill, the passion of working very closely with founder CEOs. Okay, now when you hear this, you think that, oh, wow, 4 years, a company has become a unicorn, a decacorn. Bloody hell, we can do this, right? But those founders were at it from 2005. They got their seed funding in 2015. So no one actually sees the grit and the tears and the sweat and the blood that the founders put in the time before the actual rapid growth that happened. Okay. Now, after that, the company IPO'd 35 billion. The share price is the share price. I made a lot of money. I spent a lot of money, so I needed that money. After UiPath, I decided that, you know what, typical Maharashtrian, I need a job, I need income, I need to earn money every month, right? So when headhunters contacted me, I said, I don't want to work for big companies. Okay, I'm tired of big companies. So let me look at startups. So I talked to one startup. They offered me a significant package, and in addition to that, they gave me 1.5% of their company. Okay, now that I literally, it was a Friday evening, I think January 2021. I accepted the offer verbally, of course. Over the weekend, I changed my mind. I said, you know what? I don't want to do this. I don't want to go and work for someone else again. Okay, I had a leadership role. I was going to be heading entire European organization for a startup who had done a Series A round. I said, what I want to do now is, I want to now change my entire outlook on how I see myself growing and how I can help others as well. And so I said no to this company. I spent the next 1 or 2 months just trying to think about how do I build my career going forward. So, and fortunately, because of the experience of UiPath, where I'd worked with VCs, venture capitalists, I worked with different, levels of other entrepreneurs who were in a similar field as well, I decided that the path for me was to be a personal angel investor and an advisor and focus on growth. So for the last about coming up to 2 years in January, I have built up a portfolio already of about 4 to 5 different startups. I think Ravi already mentioned a few of them. And I started this journey with an OMPEGian, okay? Pranav Dev, I don't think he's here today, but Pranav is this extremely brilliant young entrepreneur who started this loyalty platform in India called Gainon. It's grown from strength to strength. Since the time I've been working with Pranav, he's already done the next round of funding, increased the valuation of the company significantly. So what I learned, right, from this OP to OE kind of transition is the multiplier changes. As a professional, as an employee of any company, my earning is limited, right? If I'm in sales, again, it's variable, but it is still limited. There is someone out there who's trying to cap my earnings. Now, as an entrepreneur, as an investor, now the sky's the limit, okay? And this is where working with, founders, CEOs, and I'm currently working with a company which is in conversational AI space, which is now heading towards this Series B round of funding. And what is interesting is that if you're in the right technology, you have the right branding, you have the right value proposition, you can get a significant multiplier. And that is what I was looking for. So when I am now talking to founders, and I look for the passion coming from the founder. I look for, it's not because I don't have a crystal ball. As you were saying, there's no one's got a crystal ball. If I had one, yeah, guess what? I would be sunning myself not in Goa, probably in Hawaii. But the point is that what you've got to look for, and what I personally look for, is the passion from the founder. I look for the technology, and I see that there is some amount of gut feel that I use. So there's no kind of magic formula. There is nothing that, from what I've talked in the last 4 or 5 minutes, I don't think there's any scientific kind of formula you can take and apply it and say, okay, you know what, that's my winner. No. What it is you have to use your experience, and that's what I did. I used my experience from UiPath, and I used some of my gut feel as well. And that's worked well for me, and I think that's what I want everyone here to kind of take away, is that believe your gut. Take the risk. It's worth it. Trust me. Thank you.
Investor.
Checkbook anle.
What's your preferred route to make 5 million in next 5 years?
Next 5 years. Jay, stand up. I will 5% of Mercurius IT, and we sell in the next 2 years. Thank you.